Hello. This is the Thai Canadian podcast. Tune in now. This is the Thai Canadian podcast. Sawadi. Sawadi. Wadi cop. Put that thing in my butt.
I will fucking kill you.
Recording.
Okay, start it over.
Never slow down. Give me all leap of steam, fish go all leap around. Yeah, that can't be stretched, man. Nah, I can't imagine.
Okay.
Oh!
Holy Jesus. You know, can I tell you
Ladies
what
and gentlemen,
it is?
Brian Connolly. Brian Connolly's in the
Yeah.
Thai Canadian podcast. Welcome.
Holy jumping Jerusalem.
So, when technology first came out, where were you? where were you? Where?
Oh, that's pretty funny. You know what? When the cell phones first came out, they were big.
You sound very muffled.
Yeah, you sound. Where's the mic? Where's the mic on your headphone?
The mic is at the bottom of this damn phone, so I gotta hold it up. How's that muffling?
Way better.
There we go. Yeah.
You don't have a headphone that has mic on it?
I
Headphone?
don't even want to touch this thing. Last time I did that, I was getting my playlist off of whatever it is. Anyways, it should be okay. You mean like this? How's this then?
Yeah, but you can't move it. It'd be better if you had headphones with a mic, then you can move as much.
Well, you know.
Those do have a mic on it.
I know, but how do you? The last time I touched this, my Spotify started playing each time.
You don't have to hold the phone. Then it's that little thing is where your microphone is.
Oh, okay. So that's what you're.
Yeah. So just make sure it's not like tucked into your neck or nothing like that.
Roger that, Mr. Tech.
All right.
Okay, we're good. And I'll tell you why it wasn't working. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot to turn the Wi-Fi on my phone. I was just using my data.
When it's
as soon as I turned the Wi-Fi, on the phone, everything worked. So
Nice.
there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm sure that's the
second
reason.
one. I'm just learning.
Yes, we
Anyways.
know. It's okay.
You look awesome, Nance. Oh, wait a minute. That's Josh.
Is it?
That's Josh.
I was in it, but then we had to move
I
it
know.
because we were having technical difficulties.
The
So.
difficulties
Okay.
they were pretty technical. Those difficulties. Let's see if we can get.
Okay. Well, there you go.
No, I don't need to.
Oh, you do.
Well, yeah, we gotta see the emotional blurbs on your face when you're pissed or happy or in between. Okay, yeah. It's exciting.
Just more angles of me.
What about me? Do I look comfortable or what? You guys don't put this on tape, like people don't see us, do they?
No. They don't see that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just like, it's the chat and that we're all concerned with.
Yeah. It's all the audio.
Okay, just a minute. Me. Yeah. Checking the voice out, you know. Do I have a radio voice or should I?
They say
differently?
before we came on here, Nancy was saying you have a face for radio.
Have a face for radio.
For radio, yeah.
We both know that I would never say that. It means he is making that all up for himself.
I say.
You've never even heard
Roger
that.
that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, anyways, let's get right into it. Obviously, Mrs. Mac, Mr. Mac. I'm just kidding.
Mr. Mac, real ugly.
Mrs. Mac Millon, and
Papa Brian's in the building. Papa Brian's in the building.
Anyways, so let's jump into our first question that I have here. I'm sure this is one of the questions that a lot of people are always concerned about when they're going to Thailand. I mean, being in the western side of the world, I guess their immune systems aren't as, I don't know, strong, I guess, as people over there. So the question is, did you ever get sick from any of the food or anything in Thailand? Because that's one of people's main concerns when they go there. They're like, oh, what if they don't cook the food long enough? Like, can I drink like their bottled water? Obviously, you can't drink tap water. I mean, that's a no-no. But yeah, did you ever personally get sick by eating anything out of like the first few times you went there?
I mean, like food poisoning.
Yeah.
No, and what I did, like the first time I went to Thailand, of course, I knew nothing about Thailand. So when you first go there, everyone says, "Oh, you got to go see your doctor," and then the doctor sends you to the not even sure disease place or whatever it is. So you get yourself malaria shots. You get I don't know. They just gave you a bunch of shots the first time, and I thought, oh, holy smokes, got to do this every time you go overseas. But it was just all for yellow fever, all those things, I guess. I mean, it was a combination of stuff. So you did that the first time, and I did it the first time. But having said that, I went about another 40 times.
How many shots?
It was quite a few at first because you got to get yourself malaria shots and all these other things. And so when I did it the first time, I thought, oh, God, do I have to do this every time I go to Thailand? And quite frankly, I just stopped doing it. I never did it again from that point on. And did I ever get malaria or anything? No. My wife did it in the Philippines, but other than that, really, I think it all comes down to, if you're going to go jungle hopping, and I mean, seriously, if you're going to go trekking and stuff like that, perhaps malaria pills and all those things might be an advantage for you. It's just because you're in the jungle.
Does malaria kill you?
It can,
yeah. It can mess you up pretty bad.
What does it do? Is it like a lung thing?
It's a mosquito thing, so they bite you and then you get sick. And you can die from it.
What is the sickness? Is it like a breathing thing?
I think you get dehydrated and, you're throwing up. And yeah, it's an internal thing, so it can beat you up pretty good. And I'm not so sure once you have it, you don't get rid of it. It's one of those things. So like malaria is, Africa, any jungle countries.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's quite like that.
But like you could be asymptomatic and give it to other people, kind of thing, probably.
No, I don't think it's spread that way.
It's spread
by mosquitoes.
So like it can bite you, and then you can get it, and then it can go bite someone else and give it to someone else. But it's not transferred from you. It's the mosquito.
No, I don't think so.
That has it.
So having said that, I did it the first time, and then I went another 25 times to Thailand or whatever it is. Can't remember exactly, but just about every year from 1987 on. Maybe missed a year or two in there, but not too many anyway. So and then the water, again, it comes down to right to this: drink bottled water. I don't know. Yeah. It's one of those things where you go to a country like that. Their water systems are nothing like Canada or the U.S. I don't think. I don't know about the U.S. that much,
but it is the US. One thing that it is safe to brush your teeth with the water there, whereas there's people that are real extra that go there and they will use bottled water to brush their teeth.
Yeah, you could do that, but I mean, as long as you don't swallow it and you spit the water out and stuff and whatever. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna.
I mean, but the people there live off the water there, and they're doing fine.
No, but their immune systems and stuff are all. Yeah. They're all. Well, they tend to. Yeah, it's a.
So nobody in Thailand drinks the water from Thailand.
No, but they will use the water for cooking.
Yeah, they'll boil with it and stuff. Once you boil it, it's fine. And it's like anything.
So nobody will grab a glass of tap water in Thailand?
No.
No, it's all bottled water. Everywhere you go, you see it everywhere. Now, I'm not going to say to you that it's as clean and bottled water as what we would have, but it's
couple of floaties, but it's good. Eh?
Well, yeah, something like that. But and did I get sick in that country? I think I did once or twice. And was it from food? Quite possible. But again, it comes down to bottled water. How long is something there? And it's no different than anything else, I suppose.
What's the food regulation laws like there?
Well, not so good. I mean, there's open
Question
markets
is, do they
everywhere.
Have them?
Well, they do, I think, to a certain degree, but it's an open market place, and these people, their immune systems can handle a lot of that. I mean, they've just grown up on that stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas ours, that's the problem when we come from our little environment and you try to jump right into their culture that way, look out. I mean, I don't care who you are or how strong you are, you're gonna not, your internals cannot take what someone that's lived there their whole lives. So it's no different.
How did you guys prepare bringing a child there? Like, did she have to get all shots and everything? Like when you guys brought Nancy there, what was that whole process?
I think I looked into that, and I think Nancy was getting all her shots from Canada, whatever. I mean, there's just a child goes through all kinds of shots, but no,
Did you end up
I
getting
don't think
sick
she
at all,
did.
Nancy?
No.
No, I mean, everything we did was, and we went right into Royat, which is northeast Thailand, and, right into a pumping water out of the ground kind of place. So, and she was fine. I mean, I don't think she ever had problems. Again, she was
Could
2
she-
years old the first time.
Could she have genetically adopted that from her mom?
That's quite possible through her
Yeah.
mom's genetics, yep. But I mean, I don't really recall.
Because that's the scariest part, really. Like if a grown adult immune system can't survive, it's like, how can you really bring kids there?
Oh, I think kids would probably survive better because their immune system's all changing and growing and adapting much quicker.
Yeah.
Ours have already set themselves into the way we are, and then boom, you jump into that. And I think I don't think Thailand's any different than going to Greece or someplace, or Spain. I've been to Morocco and stuff. Same thing applies. Yeah, I mean, it's all just got to be, smart. If you're going to eat fruit that's not in a skin or anything, then yeah, wash it in clean water. And that they tell that to everybody that actually goes to places like that. Don't use bottled water. And bottled water is I used to ride a bicycle. I think I went 250 kilometers to Royat once, not Royat, Cadillac. And one of the most amazing things about that in Canada, when we do our little things I rode to Banff and back, you have till you get to the actual gas stations that are 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers away from everything. There's nothing. It's what you carry. Whereas Thailand, you can stop at every little corner, and there's a little place selling bottled water everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go in Thailand. So I mean, I never had a problem that way. I mean, there was always something. So, and it is bottled water everywhere. Everyone manufactures and cleans that water. So it's an industry, really.
Yeah.
And they're all that. But a lot of their water comes from the ground, wells. So in the first place, it's I have to understand, especially in Phuket and stuff. I mean, it's got the ocean all around it. So there's only so much pollution going to come out of a place like that. It's getting the whole ocean. You have to go across the Indian Ocean for, India or something, which is not the most cleanest country in the world. But I mean, it's the air and stuff it's ocean stuff. So what they do is they drill wells, and their water comes from the ground. So the water is almost drinkable from that. You still just have the bacteria once it gets to the top. So it's not that bad. It's nice and cool and refreshing. That's how we did it in our houses that we lived in. Not you washed your dishes and things like that because you use lots of soap and stuff, and it was all by hand.
Yeah.
Not too many dishwashers hanging around there unless you're in a upper class thing or something. I'm not sure I saw many of those. So yeah, that's there you go. So yeah, as far as that goes, not a big problem.
All right. Well, okay. Next question. What are some of the craziest things that you've seen in Thailand that would be like not normal for people over here?
Well, pickups there, you could say it was a mid-sized pickup.
Yeah.
Had probably 30 feet of baskets of some sort inside. Not sure what they were.
Yeah.
Piled up on the back of the
high.
truck.
Yeah.
30 feet high, and I'm talking as wide as the back of the pickup can fill, going on the highway and hitting the trees when they go around certain places. And you would go, how are they getting away with that? How does the truck not fall over? So that was one of them. Then I went to Big C once, and damned if I didn't see the wildest thing in my life. Some guy bought a mattress, put the mattress in the front of his bike. If you think about it, these bikes are 100 cc's and they got a little gap, so like you would call it it isn't a bar right there, so you could stick a child in the front in a child seat. So they would put a wooden chair in between the handlebars and the front of the seat, and a child would sit right there.
Wow.
And then no seatbelt, no nothing. I mean, it was
Yeah.
but quite amazing. But so it take that little chair out of there, And this person was trying to figure out how to take his bed home mattress, which was, probably just a single mattress, but he put it in between that and his bike handle.
And then it hangs
and he
out.
was going to drive down the road.
How can you see over top of it?
I have no idea. I never did watch him trying to leave the parking lot, but that's what he was doing, and I just went, holy smokes.
Jesus. What kind of wildlife? What's the craziest wildlife you've seen there? Like, what's the wildlife like there? Bears?
Snakes would be probably your biggest one. You have cobras, all kinds of snakes. But
What
cobras,
about actual animals? Like, do you see mountain lions? Do you see tigers?
No, you get elephants. What else would there be? They have some amazing lizards.
Oh, yes, there's the monitor lizard. It's the biggest lizard.
They even have the little ugliest looking things in the world, and geckos and stuff. They're everywhere.
So for the elephants,
the ones that
do you
stick up
see wild elephants like randomly roaming around?
No, most of them are being trained and whatnot like that.
Mm-hmm.
So no, the wild stuff. I mean, you would have to get into the probably on the east side by Burma and things like that, where it's open jungle and things like that. So,
but there are tigers and stuff there, right?
I think there is along when you get down to Cambodia side and Laos, but it's all in territories that most people don't go.
Did you ever see any cats, any mountain lions or anything like that?
I didn't. At least I don't think I did.
But the monitor lizard is actually the biggest lizard in the world.
That's disgusting.
They're huge. They're
there's a few of them.
They get up. They can grow up to like 7 feet. Like I saw one when we were camping once in high school. We went camping, and there was one like right outside my tent. It was huge.
What's the biggest snake you guys have ever seen with your own eyes?
Ooh, it was.
I saw a boa constrictor.
Your mic's all messed up, Pops.
Oh, sorry about
that. You're good now.
Okay, I said I saw a white boa constrictor. It was probably must have been 8 feet, 10 feet long.
Jesus.
About, if you took the width of its body, probably 6 inches.
Wow.
And these people actually raised these kind of things, and they brought it to the bar and put it on the pool table. And I mean, it was huge.
Those are the ones that squeeze you to death.
Squished you. Yeah. That's the one, yeah. Jeez. So I saw that. I saw an eagle. The guy used to take pictures with this bald eagle sitting on his little arm there, and this thing wasn't little. It was pretty dark big. So I've seen that, I guess.
What do eagles eat? Will an eagle eat a snake?
Little ones, yeah, I would imagine. But there's cobras and stuff. You don't play with cobras. They're dangerous.
They have cobras there too?
Oh, yeah. They're all over the place, especially in Phuket. You can be by your house and all. But they actually have, I think there's Thai guys that actually catch snakes. And they eat them and stuff, but they know how to track them and do whatever it is they do to catch them. But
you're hanging out at home having a beer, and all of a sudden there's a boa constrictor in your kitchen. What?
Well, not necessarily that. I think they're very aware of people, so they're not that brave. But they can be out beside your house there and slithering along. Yeah, you betcha.
Have you ever ran into any and had to defuse the situation?
Oh yeah. I've never had to really confront one or anything, but yeah.
There was one in the roof of our ceiling at school in the common room.
Jeez.
It fell from the roof and it was like slithering around. I got the fuck out of there. I was shitting myself. But yeah.
What about spiders and like insects?
Freaking insects.
Got some sweetheart of spiders, let me tell you. They've got spiders as big as your hand. And I've seen them in our bathroom, and you got to look around and go, how did you get into the bathroom?
Jesus.
And they're massive. They're not, bodies aren't that big. But I'm talking if you took your hand and just opened it up, spread it out, that's how big their legs would stick out. I mean, and then their little body in the middle is probably about an inch round or something. But I am telling you, there's some wicked spiders in that country.
Mm-hmm. So we also have vipers and pythons.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of snakes. I mean,
those are disgusting.
The snakes are they have to be careful because they're a good thing for getting rid of the rats, because they eat rats too. They will hunt those and eat them.
Yeah.
In Thailand, there's quite the variety of food going on there. They don't.
How
they're
bad
the-
is the rat?
right from bugs, and I'm talking bugs, to just about everything. I think they up in Northeast, everybody wants to say that they eat dogs, and they do, but it's in the rare kind of villages. It's not a normal thing or anything.
Yeah.
Because I think the Buddhist culture, they kind of protect dogs and stuff like that. But there is places where that happens, and so be it. Whatever. I mean, what do you do? I guess. But as far as they have stores that sell bugs, just like in the grocery store, it's fascinating as heck. But you should see them, and they'll eat them just like popcorn treats.
How bad are
Did
the
I eat
rats?
one?
then?
Yes.
Are they comparable to like New York or Toronto?
It can be. I mean, but they're like I said, you don't see them all over the place, but you can
Mom's
see them
caught
in
a few.
sewers. And yeah, you'll
We're
you'll
talking
get
about
them.
rats though, not mice, right? Like rats.
Ah, okay.
Rats, not mice. No
Yeah.
rats. Oh yeah, you'll see them.
Monkeys
I
are
mean,
a big thing too.
Lots of monkeys. You ever see a monkey, Pops?
Oh God.
Oh, tons of those. Yeah.
Like the gibbons, those things are just little thieves. Like they are just little
Yeah, they'll
brats.
steal you blind.
And they're good for looking for lice. If you
Picking
go to
lice up.
if you got some lice, they'll be up on your head picking those things out like crazy. But they actually they have a festival every year that's dedicated entirely to monkeys.
They just give them shit to steal.
No, it's not just the gibbons. Like,
Give them food.
yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
That's cool.
And then there's elephant rides. I got to speak about that one. I did it once.
It's horrible.
I did it once, and everybody wants to do it. And I'm not trying to downplay people with elephants in Thailand, but it's about as boring as it gets.
That's not it, but the pain they go through too. Like they're literally tortured and beaten. And
Yeah, I don't know
pretty
about
much
that part.
get them into line. Like I've seen it. Like I've looked up on stuff like that.
So it's not it's not a very good thing for them, but it's really not worth.
But
they're very slow, they're methodical, and it's just a gook.
and it's animal cruelty. But the main thing is like that they encourage you, instead of riding the elephants, there's like elephant sanctuaries where you can go and bathe and like play with the elephants, like I mean in the water, and you can bathe them and like feed them bananas, interact with them. Like that's more the better thing like to do, and it's amazing. Riding them they're in pain. They get whipped. Like it's not. You're muffled.
But anyways, yes, it's not a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then here you go.
Does anyone eat elephant?
No.
Not that I know of. No, never heard of that one.
I've heard of.
I don't think they'd be a very good eating. I don't think they'd be a good thing. No, you get the tusk thing where they're trying to take their tusks, which is an illegal thing for ivory.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure now. I think they've come to a little smarter, and they'll raise elephants and cut their tusks legitimately rather than killing the whole elephant and then ripping their tusks out.
Yeah, instead of
and like the elephants, like the main, like I guess it could be like, I mean, it is in India as well, but it's like one of like the most cultural animals
like
to them.
Respected animal.
Yeah, because that's like that's what they rode into war back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were riding elephants into war.
That sounds ineffective.
Oh, not really. They don't stop.
Like, yeah, they'll stomp
it's like a bulldozer. It's like sitting in a bulldozer, and away you go. And who's gonna knock you down? And you gotta understand.
Have you seen like some of the Thai movies? I should actually get you to watch some of them, like back in the war days.
Oh yeah, elephants were a big part of their defense, or whatever you want to call it.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So what about bears? Do they have panda bears there? Do they have koala bears? No bears at all?
No pandas.
They do have some bears.
I think they might up in the.
I think there's like the Malaysian bear. I think they call it. We have some of those. It's let's see here. Yeah, the Malaysian sun bear. It says Thailand is home to more than 10% of the world's animals. It's more than 285 mammal species. which obviously includes elephants, the tigers, leopards. Apparently, there's leopards that we've never seen. Sandbars. What are sandbars?
Black people.
Oh,
Sambo.
I figured.
Just kidding. Oh, yeah.
Deers and otters. They have otters. Aw. And then there's
Yeah, they would have those, I would think.
goats, wild cattle, wild hogs.
I was gonna ask
you know.
about deer. I thought pretty sure that I saw a snake eating a deer in Thailand one time.
Yeah, that's very more than likely those snakes.
What do you mean, like a eating it whole? It was possible there was
Yeah,
a deer there. Yeah, that's
literally
possible.
just like consuming this thing. There's just a bunch of Thai people standing around watching it happen.
And then you've forgotten that you should see the seafood that is in that country, man. There's stuff there that you go, what is that?
Mhm.
What's
Like
the craziest thing
scary
you've
looking.
ever eaten? Do they eat like the eggs with the ducks in it and shit like that there? Like how they do in China? Or
No, that's Philippines, I believe.
I know China does that a lot
That's-
too.
The Philippines does the eggy thing, yeah. it's
With the
disgusting.
mini bird in it.
Yeah, with it's almost being whatever it is.
Like the actual live baby?
I don't know, but they
It's not a
eat
it's
an
not-
egg with a almost hatched
yeah.
Oh my
chicken.
goodness.
And you
or
kind of
something.
open it and it pops
Oh,
its
it's
head out and you
just-
bonk, you
I
know.
forget. I'll have to ask. I mean, Rochelle would know that, but anyway.
Ooh, we'll get on
forget
to
what they
that
call
one
that.
on the
It pops its head
Filipino
out and
day.
it's like it pops its head out it's like mama, and then you tase it to cook it.
Oh,
You
that's
tase it to death and
wrong.
you just
No, they just eat it. Yeah,
while it's still alive, he's
Tasty
squirming
bit.
around.
Tasty tidbit.
Like I know we eat bird eggs,
Yeah, but not with the bird in it.
not with the
Okay.
little birdie coming
No,
out.
What's the
poking
craziest
its head.
thing, both of you? Craziest thing you've ever eaten in Thailand?
He's just a bug. I ate a bug once in Patong because everybody said it was bugs. You know, like I told you, it was in a bag, and they just and I ate it, and it tasted like a French fry that's been cooked too long. You know how it's too crispy? That's all
Yeah.
it tasted like. So I just ate it just because I said I would, but that was the only time I ate a bug.
I definitely.
If
I
you
never
actually
ate the
saw
bugs.
some of the bugs,
What have you eaten?
if you actually saw some of them, man, you would freak out at the size of some of the bugs in Thailand. Holy shit!
Yeah, they're pretty big. For me, I don't
But
know. Like
you
I
know, if you actually needed protein, man, there you go, bingo.
Yeah,
that's
they're
all they
full of
are.
protein. What about you,
Yeah,
Mrs. Mack?
sure.
You ever had a medium or a monkey steak?
nope, definitely not.
Monkey brains,
The bugs,
I think.
the bugs.
I think they do. I think they do monkey brains in Thailand.
Some ramen with
Yeah.
monkey brains?
Ew, that sounds
I'm
disgusting.
pretty sure they do. I don't
Fuck,
know.
you
no,
steal my
Maybe
you
it's
steal
not.
my watch, I take your brains. It's
I
a fair
do
deal.
not condone that.
Yeah,
For
it's
me,
just
I don't
something
know.
wrong.
Like I never was ballsy enough to try all that fried insect shit. Like that's not my thing. I
Well-
mean, out of the crazy stuff, it'd probably just be like the types of seafood, like the different types of shells. Like they have some pretty nasty looking, weird, bloody looking shells. Like I'll eat that. I'm all over that stuff. Like the
Oh, they do. They have
yeah,
just
I'm
the
all over that.
weirdest
Apart
looking
from the
thing
fish.
that's like a lobster, but it isn't. I don't know what that thing was. I forget what it's called, but it's ugly. And you look at it and you go, I can't eat that thing. I don't even know what it was. I'll have to look that one up one day. I used to see it in the, they just got bought
Muffled.
Yeah, it was called muffle. How did you know?
It was called muffles.
But anyways, it was just disgusting looking. I never did try it. So I've ate, intestines and stuff like that.
Crazy.
They love to make their soups with that kind of stuff, with the whatever you call that, stomach and stuff.
Yeah. Have you been to the Philippines?
Oh yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've eaten there?
Nothing really. I stayed in a very nice place that was pretty much westernized.
No, okay.
So
okay.
I never got out into. I think we went to Bulacan once, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We never really did much cultural stuff there. I stayed out of that in that country.
Crazy.
All
So, yeah.
right.
Oh, what else you got for pops?
I think that's it for today. I don't want to drag on too many different topics. I want to save them bit by bit.
Wildest STD you've ever gotten in Thailand?
There we go. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
What?
Come on. You must have caught something at some point after you and my mother were no longer together.
I actually have heard rumors that the hookers there are like the cleanest hookers in the world.
Yeah, actually, I used to. They have cards. They go get checked.
Mhm.
Because after a while there, when the age thing came, it was pretty intense. So
Yeah.
You could do that. Yep. But
I
no,
heard
I
that they
never.
even like make their
I mean, Nancy
John
knows there's
shower
something I
before
could talk about, but we won't talk about it now.
Yes, well, we'll leave that one out.
Yeah, I heard that you have to like shower before you sleep with any of the hookers, and like, yeah, it's a whole.
Actually, the one thing I give credit to Thailand, and I'll say this 100 times over, and quite frankly, I guess my wife from the Philippines does the same. Is I found one thing that Western women just has got no chance of keeping up on is Asian
Showering.
women. No, they're just hygienically, I would say, 75 times better than Western women.
Yeah,
Period.
a lot
Without a
clean.
doubt. They are.
Crazy.
And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, you're in a hot climate, so you can't just not shower for a day. I mean, it's impossible to even think of that.
Yeah,
So you'll shower
your
2
clams will
or
be
3
steaming.
times a day, just because you can, and it doesn't affect you. It just cools you down and it cleans you off. So and then they also have a bidet. Maybe a little strange for it's not quite the French kind with the nice toilet or whatever, but it's they have a hose beside the toilets. So that's when they go to the washroom, and I don't care whether it's 1 or 2, as in pee and poop. They use a bidet
Yes, thanks
every
for-
time, and it's just
I do miss the bidets.
So when
do
you're
I.
using a
And
bidet, are you
may
using
laugh
toilet?
about
Are
it.
you using toilet paper as well, or
No,
you just?
don't need to. And here's the thing: people used
can,
to say,
though.
well, you
Sounds
can to
weird. Is
get
it a
some of the
pressure
water
washer?
off, but no, yeah, it's basically the ones we
Feels
used to. They
great.
would. You could get them in your sinks here in Canada. With that pulls out on a line, and it's got a squirter,
Mm-hmm.
and it's exactly like that, except it's on the side of the wall.
And the
So
pressures.
when you go to the washroom and you use that, it's cool, it's refreshing, and yeah, if you're a little wet afterwards, you don't have nothing left on, if you know what I mean, particles wise.
How do you
And
dry it
leave
off? You
there,
just kind of pull up your underwear and go.
yeah, and where
Dries
you
off
go
really
because it's
quick.
hot outside. You don't sit there, and it's not like it stays wet or anything.
You
It's
walk around
gone.
with a moist ass.
So,
eh?
No, but then some places
yeah.
have tissue too. You can use tissue afterwards.
You could, but the
But
thing in
they're-
Thailand, they have toilets that you do not put tissue in, and
Yeah.
they're squatting toilets,
They're little holes.
and they work fantastic if you actually can hold yourself into that position, which most of us Westerners cannot.
He
Yeah.
can. I've
And if
seen
you
him
ever, if you,
squat for
well,
hours.
some
Call me
people
the
you
squat
can,
guy.
but it's a complicated thing. But something that people don't realize either is if you take the mechanics of going to the bathroom, by the way, in Western culture, if you look at the way anybody sits down when they go to the bathroom, you're square, your legs go straight out, and your legs go straight down. That is not a very comfortable position
It's
in order
very-
to get rid
That's
of
why
your,
we have
your
stools.
stool.
It's not ergonomically correct for your stools.
No,
to come-
exactly. But when you see a toilet in Thailand and their bodies can bend with their knees,
Yeah.
their body and their intestines are straight in a straight line. Whoosh! Out
Yeah.
she comes.
Squatty
There's
potty.
no pressure. There's no pushing, which is what we do when we
You
sit
know-
on these.
You know what they actually say is that women are supposed to give birth that same way. That's the natural way to give birth. Is in a
Well, yeah, but that's
crouching
because
position.
everything is in a
It just
straight
flows
line.
out. Yeah, they say it flows out.
But
When the moment you lay
but-
down on the bed, that you're pushing and you're straining and you're struggling.
Exactly. So think about men it's not that we have babies, but I mean to go to the washroom, that's where
It's
you
the
get
same flow,
hemorrhoids.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's where you get all these things that have and there you go. And call it what you will. Their culture's a lot older than ours.
Yeah.
And yes, we make it so that we sit down in a nice cover, but it's not ergonomically correct to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
all I'm telling you.
We have a little squatty stool thing that we use to.
Yeah. Put our knees up.
But yeah, I was telling her that
Yeah.
it's interesting because the baby thing too. Like the doctors started putting women in beds just to get them there longer, so they
Exactly.
can plug them up and get money out of them. But it was
Well, I
originally
think that's
women were
part of
giving
it.
birth by squatting, and just the baby would just come out.
Or why do you think they have babies in swimming pools and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just
You know,
natural.
when
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, it's just an Asian thing. But, anyways, there you go.
Crazy.
Okay, Nance. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think that's a wrap.
yes.
That's a good
We'll leave-
episode.
It's another
We'll
episode.
leave
of
it
the-
on. We'll leave it on a shitty end.
Yes, literally. Leave on that shitty note. This is the Thai
Okay.
Canadian podcast with
Miss Mac.
Mrs. Mac, your boy Mac Milan, Papa Brian. We are trying to do this thing at the end where everyone at the count of 3 says goodbye in Thai, and I'm sure you know how to say it. So let's do it all
All right.
together.
3,
1,
2,
2, 3.
1. Lock
Lock
on.
on.
Dick.
No, it's lock on.
You said hi.
That's hi, Bri.
Lock
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Lock on.
Okay, you count.
Lag on.
Okay,
Cup.
3, 2, 1.
Lock on. Cup.
Lag on. Cup.
All right. Perfect.
Thank
Love
you,
you.
Pop.
Bye.
She high like she can't wait, go down. She want any type of way, go down. She wanna hold you, but they slow down, slow down. But she tell me never slow down.